أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن سيدنا وحبيبنا محمدا عبده ورسوله أرسله بالحق بشيرا ونذيرا وداعيا إلى الله بإذنه وسراجا منيرا أما بعد قال الله تبارك وتعالى بالله من الشيطان الرجيم واعتصموا بحبل الله جميعا ولا تفرقوا واذكروا نعمة الله عليكم إذ كنتم أعداء فألف بين قلوبكم فأصبحتم بنعمته إخوانا وكنتم على شفا حفرة من النار فأنقذكم منها كذلك يبين الله لكم آياته لعلكم تهتدون. My dear brothers and sisters, I've recited a very important verse in the Quran where Allah says, وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ, hold on to the rope of Allah. وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا, and don't be divided. وَاذْكُرُوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ عَلَيْكُمْ, and remember the mercy upon you. إِذْ كُنْتُمْ أَعْدَاءً, you were enemies. فَأَلَّفَ بَيْنَ قُلُوبِكُمْ, and He brought your hearts together. فَأَصْبَحْتُمْ بِنِعْمَتِهِ إِخْوَانًا, and He bestowed upon you out of His mercy brotherhood. فَأَنْقَذَكُمْ مِنْهَا كَذَلِكَ يُبَيِّنُ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ آيَاتِهِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَهْتَدُونَ. You are on the brink of falling in the fire. You are on the brink of فَأَلَّفَ بَيْنَ قُلُوبِكُمْ فَأَصْبَحْتُمْ بِنِعْمَتِهِ إِخْوَانًا وَكُنْتُمْ عَلَى شَفَا حُفْرَةٍ مِّنَ النَّارِ فَأَنْقَذَكُمْ مِنْهَا كَذَلِكَ يُبَيِّنُ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ آيَاتِهِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَهْتَدُونَ. You're on the brink of falling in the fire, and Allah saved you. My dear brothers and sisters, there is another hadith of Rasulullah that I would like to quote to you, where Rasulullah said, on the Day of Judgment, there will be 7 categories of people who will receive the shade of Allah when there will be no shade. One such category of people would be those people who would love one another for the sake of Allah. When the believers would love one another for the sake of Allah, they will be given on the Day of Judgment shade when there will be no shade. The reason I ask you to consider this verse and this hadith today is at the back of an incident that happened last Friday in one of the masjid where I was leading Jum'ah. And I've already shared this in public, but I'll tell you again. I was sitting inside the office of the masjid, getting ready for Jum'ah, when a man walked in and he said, Wallahi, 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 if you allow this man to lead Jum'ah today, there will be fitna in the masjid. There are so many people in this masjid who will get up and they will cause trouble. We will call the police and there will be chaos. Please, don't let him lead the Jum'ah. He said to the regular imam, you should lead the Jum'ah, and he walked off. The entire mosque committee in the room were absolutely astonished. What do they say to such an announcement? So they were confused, they were looking at me, they were looking at one another. One brother decided to run behind this gentleman to see what it is that he's talking about. But he couldn't find it. They went inside the main hall to see who are these brothers who have gathered together to cause trouble today. They couldn't find anyone. So they came to me and they said, what should we do? They had a dilemma in front of them. They had a guest who was me, and they had a threat from somebody who was willing to cause fitna or lots of trouble inside the mosque. He said, we will protest and stop his khutbah. So I said to the mosque management that you should not be blackmailed by people like that. You should have a policy and principle of your own. If you genuinely feel there is a threat of chaos and trouble, then you decide. Somebody else should not threaten you to make a decision for this masjid. Especially when this person does not have the courtesy of even telling us what the problem is. What is the problem with me doing the Jum'ah khutbah today? What is my issue? What's his issue with me? He didn't tell me. He did not give me an excuse or a reason. He did not give me an opportunity to clarify or answer his questions or explain. Nothing. Make an announcement and leave. I said to them, if you have a policy of your own, please implement it. But I recommend that you stand by me and we will do Jum'ah. I'll lead the prayer. And if there is any problem, we'll deal with it. Mosque has got security guards inside. I think they felt empowered. We went together to the masjid. I led Jum'ah. I did the khutbah. I led the prayer. Not even a hoot. Not a single word was uttered by a single person. They all listened. There were 3,000 people in the masjid. It's a massive masjid. And after prayers, I did not hear one single person complain to me about the problems. No, not a single person. They said, oh, we've missed you for a long time. We haven't seen you for a while. When are you coming next? And it was particularly important last week because it was the week when the kids were away. And it was their holiday period. So I prepared a khutbah for children so that they would learn. The reason I tell you this story, my brothers and sisters, is that we Muslims are too quick in judging one another. We're too quick in banishing our fellow human beings, our brothers and sisters, to hellfire. We're too quick in giving names and titles and labels to people. We call each other deviant before we even think about it. He doesn't have the right aqidah, somebody said to me the other day. What do you mean I don't have the right aqidah? Have you spoken to me? His beard is too short, somebody said to me the other day. Really? Is that an issue for you? I remember in one masjid somebody told me recently, I was leading Jum'ah and a man came in, he looked at me and he left. And the caretaker outside asked him, where are you going, uncle? The Jum'ah is here. He goes, I would rather go home and pray than pray behind this ignorant fool, he called me. So the man said, what happened? He goes, the guy doesn't have long enough beard. Look at the irony of such a foolishness. Rasulullah practiced and he told his companions, and it is a strong sunnah that we should keep a beard. Of course we should. Now will Allah on the day of judgment stop you and I from going to paradise because of the length of our beard? Ajib idea. Why would Allah stop us from going to paradise because of the length of the beard? He would stop you and I for disuniting on the day of judgment from going to paradise. Disunity and fitna is worse. Allah will stop you from going to paradise if you call your brother a name, mock him or mock her. If you call your brother or your sister in names that are insulting, you will not go to paradise. But Allah will not stop you and I from going to paradise for the length of our beard. One of my teachers said to me, for beard's length, those people who waste their time talking about it, if Rasul's sunnah is everything that he did, he was not born with long beard. He was born with no beard. When he reached the age of adulthood, he grew beard slowly, and short beard is sunnah, medium-sized beard is sunnah, long beard is sunnah. You can't have long beard from the day one. It makes no sense. It's like the argument about long hair, short hair. Rasulullah had all size hair. He shaved it, it grew. So every millimeter it grew, whatever length you have, you're following the sunnah. My brothers and sisters, we're too quick to judge one another based on length of our trousers. How long is his trousers? Somebody said to me the other day, your trousers are below your ankle. I said, where are your trousers? He goes to me, they're above. I said, let me see, come here. So he came close to me, and I said to him, where are you wearing your trousers? His trousers was not on his navel, it was not in his belly button, it was here. So I said to him, no man can keep their trousers on their belly button. Impossible, it will drop down. Unless you're wearing a lungi, which is a Bengali clothing, or an Arab one, the one that you had those days, Yemeni ones, where you can tie it around and you can put it over your belly. If you've got a pot belly, mashallah, it will be covered well. Look at the illogic of this argument. No trousers will ever stay on my belly button unless I tighten it with a very strong belt. It will fall, and if it falls, it will go below my ankle. Are you that fixated by your irrational approach? You could be wearing short trousers above your ankle and be arrogant. What is haram is to be arrogant with whatever clothes you're wearing. You could be wearing your cloak, you could be wearing clothes of a pauper, and you still could be arrogant. And both of those clothes would be haram for you to wear. And yet we're too quick in giving judgments to one another. He is a deviant, she is a deviant. He is not good enough Muslim. His sunnah is not good enough. His aqidah is not good enough. His beard is not sunnah enough. All sorts of weird and irrational ideas have crept into the Muslim mind instead of the unity and brotherhood and sisterhood that is needed for us to survive. My brothers and sisters, take the example of Sri Lanka. Take the example of Sri Lanka. What's happened in Sri Lanka is awful. Whoever perpetrated this crime should be brought to justice, and swift justice should be given to them for what they have done is awful evil. Killed innocent people, My brothers and sisters, the repercussion of it will be now that the Muslims will be attacked on the streets of Sri Lanka on a daily basis. Whether you are long beard or short beard, whether you're Hanafi or Maliki, or Shafi'i or Hanbali, whether you're Sufi or non-Sufi, whether you're Tablighi or non-Tablighi, they will not make the distinction. When the beating will start, it will be indiscriminate. I'm not saying it should. I make dua, it never happens. When the bombs fall in Syria from the Syrian regime, it fell on everybody. When Russian planes were flying over Syria and destroying Muslim infrastructure, it was destroying everything. It did not look for the long beard or the short beard. When the adhab of Allah will come, when something like an earthquake happens ever, the natural calamity, it doesn't distinguish between who's got a long beard and who's got a short beard, and who's wearing long trousers or short trousers. It doesn't. We are too quick. The focus should be unity of the ummah, the brotherhood and the sisterhood, the love for one another. Because on the day of judgment, Rasulullah has said, Allah will give shade under a shade, but there will be no shade for one category of people. Who are the ones with the long beard or short beard, the ones with the long trousers or short trousers, the one with the gallabiya, abaya. No, none of those. Rasulullah did not say any of that. He said, those who believe in Allah and love one another for the sake of Allah. Allahu Akbar. If you love your brother, regardless of whatever his state is, if you love your sister, for whatever her state is, because of Allah, I love you for the sake of Allah, will give you a shade on the day of judgment. The Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we are a lost bunch today. Our focus has completely gone. We are fighting over Shab Barat, whether to celebrate the 15th of Sha'ban or not to celebrate the 15th of Sha'ban. Many of those people who fight over the celebration of 15th of Sha'ban, 14th night of Sha'ban, or 15th of Sha'ban, the celebration itself, most of those people who do it and fight over it are the ones who don't pray 5 times a day at all. They're too busy doing haram. They think on this day, everything will be forgiven. They're looking for shortcut to paradise. My brothers and sisters, in Islam, there are no shortcut to paradise. You have to work hard. You have to pray your prayers. You have to give your zakat. You have to do your solemn fast. You have to do things Allah has given you consistently, regularly, without insulting anybody, without deriding anybody, without stepping on anybody else's right. Being fair and just is your motto. Being compassionate is the only way. And you want to be close to Allah. You want to be close to Allah. Obey Allah the way you should be obeyed. These frivolous arguments I hear, this frivolous arguments I come to learn is destroying this ummah left, right and center. Which school of thought do you follow? Somebody said to me the other day. Can you believe somebody wrote to me saying, we would like to invite you to our masjid to come and give a talk. I said, inshallah, what date? They gave me the date. The text message came. I wrote back, inshallah, I'm available. What is the topic? They gave me the topic. About an hour later, a message came saying, the committee wants to know, what kind of a Muslim are you? That's the message. What kind of a Muslim are you? I wrote back saying, I'm a Muslim. The brother said, well, can you please explain, what kind of a Muslim are you? I said, you tell me, what do you mean? So he wrote a long list. Are you Hanafi, are you Shafi'i, Maliki, Hanbali, Baralavi, Deobandi, all those. And I wrote back, said, none of them, I'm a Muslim. You know what he said? He said, not good enough for our community. I am not good enough for being a Muslim. I need to be Hanafi, I need to be this, I need to be that. I remember I went to Newcastle not that long ago. I was walking along the road and I saw a masjid with a signboard. It says, this masjid is Sunni, Hanafi, Baralavi, Naqshbandi masjid. Do you think Rasulullah would walk into a masjid like this if he sees a masjid like this? No, he would turn his back and he would walk away. He would not call such a place of worship, because that's not a place of worship. That's a place of bid'ah, place of haram, place of sectarianism, place of division. This ummah needs to rethink its strategy. We're fighting over labels. We're fighting over clothes. We're fighting over beard. We're fighting over frivolous things when the ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is bleeding from Myanmar to Palestine. From ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is bleeding from China to Africa. Bleeding, not only bleeding, but being killed and massacred left, right and center. Being killed and massacred by Muslims, being killed and massacred by illegal invasions by the Western nations, being killed persecuted and massacred by Muslim rulers. They're being destroyed left, right and center. And you and I are arguing about the length of our beard, length of our trousers. We're arguing about Shab Barat. We're arguing about moon sighting. I don't call it moon sighting anymore. I call it moon fighting. People are fighting over moon. Yeah. What's wrong with you, brothers? What's wrong with you, sisters? Why are you fighting over moon? There's only one moon. If the moon is supposed to be born on Monday, scientifically speaking, in the last 100 years, the observatory has never got it wrong. Please take it from me. The observatory, the calculation, never got it wrong. They know the precise moment when moon is going to be born. Is this in contradiction to the sunnah? No. You learn from the science when moon is going to be born. You go and practice the sunnah of seeing it with your eyes. You combine the two. Science says moon is going to be born Monday, the 14th of April 2019. Imagine. You start looking for the moon on Saturday. Ya Majnoon, oh mad people. Why are you looking for moon on Monday or Saturday when it's going to be born on Monday? Why are you looking for moon on Sunday when it's going to be born on Tuesday? What's wrong with this ummah of ours? Use science to aid the sunnah. Who's going to stop you? Who's going to stop you from using the science to make the sunnah possible? The sunnah is to see, right? Go and look on the day when the moon is going to be visible. No point looking for moon in London. It's all cloudy and polluted. Brother, I saw the moon in London, sure. You probably saw the moon 3 days late. And then, to make it worse, Bangladeshis and Pakistanis do Ramadan and Eid 3 days later. Even if you go by the changes of time, because of the rotation of the earth. How is it possible that you do Eid and Ramadan 3 days later? How? One day I understand. 6-7 hours makes a difference, I understand. 12 hours for New Zealand, Australia, I understand. 24 hours for New Zealand, I understand. Yes, I understand. But Bangladesh and Pakistan, how on earth do you do 3 days later? You've got a different mood altogether. Do you know what it is? It's called ego, it's called ignorance, it's called arrogance, it's called backwardness, all combined together and creating a lethal concoction of nothing but foolishness, and we've become a laughing stock of the world. And Allah says, وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ, and hold on to the rope of Allah together. Hold on to the rope of Allah together. You can hold on to the same rope as I do, even if I'm different to you. Brother, can you not love me if I'm different to you? Of course you can. Of course you can love me because I'm different to you. If I say, La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, I am a brother to you in deen. I find this ummah, the crisis of it, not just in the outer manifestation of Islam, but deeply in their head. There is a thinking crisis. They can't even think anymore. They can't think anymore. I said to a brother the other day in a discussion, I said to him, tell me, Rasulullah ﷺ, where was he born? He was born in Mecca. Did he look different to the people of Mecca? No. Did he speak differently to the people of Mecca? No. Did he eat differently to the people of Mecca? No. Did he speak differently to the people of Mecca? No. Did he dress differently to the people of Mecca? No. So if Prophet of Allah ﷺ was born in London, by the same logic, he would speak like people of London, he would dress like people of London, he would eat food of people of London, except of course it would be halal. I don't need to say that. If you want me to say it, I'll say it for you. He would not eat haram food. Because haram is qat'i, is absolute. You can't violate haram. It's not haram to dress like people of London, unless you're breaking a dress code of Islam, which makes it haram. Thought crisis in the ummah. Somebody was arguing with me the other day about siwak, brushing your teeth. He said, brother, it is the sunnah to wear the stick, use the stick. I said, sunnah is to brush the teeth. That's the sunnah. If you have the stick, use it. If you've got electrical toothbrush, use it. If Rasulullah was here today, he would be advising you to use the most modern electrical toothbrush. Do you know why? Because he wants you to protect your gum and keep your teeth longer preserved, without infection, without losing them, without causing them trouble or decay. That's the sunnah of Rasulullah. He said to his companions, I would have ordered you to brush your teeth 5 times a day if it wasn't that I was worried about hardship. Why? Because by brushing your teeth, you keep your breath smelling fresh, and your companion next to you who's praying isn't being killed by your halitosis. Rasulullah said, I would have told you to brush your teeth 5 times a day. What's the sunnah? The sunnah is to brush. What's the illah? What's the purpose? Is to keep your breath fresh. What's the purpose of brushing your teeth? Is to keep your gum clean. Why? So that you can preserve your health well. The ummah's crisis is such that the ummah has become fixated in other things. Other things that have no relevance to Islam. One example, I'll finish with this. Somebody said to me the other day, Imam, where is your hat? This one. Where is your hat? I said, I don't have it today. He goes, where is your hat today? I said, I didn't bring it today. Why not? I said, why do I need to? He goes to me, you can't lead the prayer without the hat. Did you know, my brothers and sisters, majority of the time, Prophet did not have his head covered when he was leading prayers. Majority of the time, he did not wear anything on his head. It's okay if you want to wear something on your head. It's no problem. Nobody's stopping you. Go ahead. Please go ahead. Wear something on your head if that makes you feel happy and respectful. No problem. But don't make it a condition for prayer. It's a crisis in the ummah's head. We are not thinking about what's inside the head. We're thinking about what we put on top of the head. La ilaha illallah. What's happened to this ummah? What's happened to this ummah? Use what is inside the head and don't cover it up. If your hat looks nice, it doesn't make you more intelligent. If your hat looks nice and glorious, it doesn't make you more pious. The bigger the turban, you're not closer to Allah. It's crisis in the ummah today. This crisis can only be overcome when we love one another and when we unite together and not focus on the frivolous issues. Are you listening to what I'm saying? The ummah's crisis will be overcome when we unite. When we unite together because we say La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. When this ummah stops focusing on frivolous issues and focusing on the right issues. The sister here who manages this mosque, Rabi, said to me the other day, somebody had complaints about my khutbah and was very upset. Sister said, why don't you go and speak to the Imam? He's here. No, I don't want to speak to him. Why don't you want to speak to me? I'm not going to bite you. I'm not going to punch you. I've never done that in my life. If you've got a problem with your brother, sit him down and speak to him. Tell him, I've got a problem with you, with this, that and the other. Don't backbite behind me. If you backbite behind me, you're sinning. If you're making up stories, you're sinning. You come and tell me in private, something is wrong with you. Something is wrong with you that I don't like, my brother. I will be happy to listen. The ummah needs to realize that there are ways in which we can deal with our problems. Our ways of dealing with the problem isn't like, and I'll give you a story my father told me. He said, there were 2 neighbors, they were fighting with one another. Continuously fighting. The fight was over a tree. One of the neighbors had a massive tree and there was a big massive branch hanging over the other neighbor's house. The other neighbor wanted this branch to be cut down. But the neighbor said, no, I would like my tree to be preserved. There was a lot of argument. One day, the neighbor who didn't want the branch to be hanging over his garden got very upset. He climbed the tree, he sat on the branch of the tree and with an electric saw started cutting the branch. So imagine he's sitting on the branch and he's cutting the branch. What's happening? What's going to happen to him? He's going to fall and he's going to break his neck. That's what's happening with this ummah. We are cutting the tree or the branch of the tree on which we're sitting. We're making a hole on the boat that we're riding. We are doing destructive things. It's like they say in English, don't cut your nose to spite your face. We are cutting our nose to spite our faces because we disagree with our brothers or we disagree with our sisters. Disagreement alone, my brothers and sisters, is not good enough. Disagreement is okay. You can disagree with your brother or your sister, but you don't need to cut your nose. You can disagree all you like. You don't need to destroy yourself. You don't need to burn your hair because there is nits in it. What would you say to a man or a woman who burns his hair because there is nits in it? What would you say to them? You would say they're foolish. You would say they've lost their mind. They have lost their brain. My brothers and sisters, that's what's happening to this ummah. May Allah forgive us. May Allah empower us. And may Allah make us better people and understand the focus of this ummah. Focus of this deen is to unite. Focus of this deen is to remain together and love one another for the sake of Allah. That's when we'll be successful. Wa akhir ad-da'wana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين والصلاة والسلام على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. My dear brothers and sisters, I want to finish off. I don't want to go on and on for a long time. You know, I love you for the sake of Allah. If something happens to me, I hope you will come to my janazah. If I fall ill, I hope you will come and see me in the hospital when I am suffering. I hope when I pray, if my family is in trouble, you will come to help me. I hope when I pray, if you see me on the side of the street, you jump to my aid if I'm in desperate need of your help and support. My brothers and sisters, the Ummah of Muhammad is more than those things, because you do this anyway to anyone. What makes you and I any different? I was walking down the road the other day, and I was about to cross the road, and then I didn't see the passing car in front of me. I put my foot out, and somebody grabbed my shirt from the back and pulled me back. I looked back, and it was a young girl, probably 16 years old. I said to her, "Thank you very much." She goes, "It's okay." She saved my life. The car would have knocked me down. I said to her, "Why did you do that?" She goes, "Well, I'm a human being. I don't want you to die." It's normal reaction to save your brothers and sisters of your fellow humanity because you're human beings. But believers have a special relationship. They have a special relationship. They love one another for the sake of Allah more than they love anything else in the world. That love is what should keep us together. It should not rupture us apart. On the Day of Judgment, it is this kind of love that will save you and I. It is this kind of love for one another that will save you and I. Rasulullah invited his companions. Who would like to take this guest who has come? A Muslim brother who has come from afar. He is a guest. Anyone has got food? One companion said, "Ya Rasulullah, I'll take it." He took him to his house. And he gave his wife no notice. He said to his wife, "There's a guest." Allahu Akbar, his wife said, "How can you bring a guest when I don't have any food today? I have a little bit of food for my children." He said, "Don't worry about the children. Put the children to sleep. And we will give the food that we have for this guest." So they sat together, they served the food, and they put the lamp on. And they made an excuse, switched the lamp off because they said the lamp is not working, and told the guest to continue eating. The guest ate while the hosts stayed hungry and the children stayed hungry, my brothers and sisters. Rasulullah said to this companion next day, "What you did yesterday, Allah loved it so much." It's called love. Love for your guest, love for your brother. The companions were prepared to sacrifice their own interest and need because they gave preference to their brothers and sisters because of La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah. And we are prepared to push our brothers under the truck. We're prepared to push our brothers and sisters into hellfire just because I disagree with him or her. Just because he is got a shorter beard than me or he's wearing a different clothing than me. We are an ummah completely lost. My brothers and sisters, I don't know how else I can make this more understood than to say, my brothers and sisters, please, for Allah's sake, love each other for the sake of Allah. My brothers and sisters, love each other for the sake of Allah. Extend the hands of mercy for the sake of Allah. Allah will extend the hand of mercy for you. Allah will give you what you deserve in this world and in the hereafter. My brothers and sisters, on the Day of Judgment, it is our love that will save us. One of the things that will save us is our love. So I'm asking you to unite regardless of your background. Whether you're Sufi or non-Sufi, or you're Hanafi or Maliki, whether you are Arab or non-Arab, whether you're white or black, whether you are rich or poor, I don't care who you are. Unite with your brother or your sister because your brother or your sister says, La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah. La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah. You pray in the same way. You will pray with me in the same direction. You will give the same sajda, same ruku', listen to the same Quran, make dua to same Allah, and yet you disunite straight after prayers. In fact, some people even disunite while praying. Allah protect us from such evil. May Allah protect us all from such evil of disunity. Ya Arhamar Rahimin, bring our hearts together, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, make us better people, Ya Allah. Ya Arhamar Rahimin, empower us so that we can love one another, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, remove the frivolous arguments and debate between ourselves, Ya Allah. Ya Arhamar Rahimin, replace them with intelligent discussions, Ya Allah. Replace them with intelligent discussions, with love and affection, Ya Allah. Ya Arhamar Rahimin, restore in this ummah love for one another, Ya Allah. Ya Arhamar Rahimin, Ya Akramul Akramin, unite our hearts, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, protect us from the evil of ourselves, whispers of shaitan, and whispers of all evil that is around us, Ya Allah. Protect us from all evil around us, Ya Allah. Ya Arhamar Rahimeen. Free Al-Aqsa from occupation, Ya Allah. Free Syria from the troubles, Ya Allah. Free Libya from the troubles, Ya Allah. Free Sudan from the troubles, Ya Allah. Free Somalia from the troubles, Ya Allah. Free Kashmir from occupation, Ya Allah. Free Myanmar and our brothers and sisters from all troubles, Ya Allah. Ya Arhamar Rahimeen. Restore on this earth peace and stability, Ya Allah. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم. Ya Allah, help our brothers and sisters in Sri Lanka, Ya Allah. They are facing a testing time. Ya Allah, unite the people of Sri Lanka, Ya Allah. Ya Arhamar Rahimeen, unite the people of Sri Lanka regardless of their faith and their background, Ya Allah. Ya Arhamar Rahimeen, accept our dua, Ya Allah. Accept our prayers, Ya Allah. Accept our sacrifice, Ya Allah. And protect our children, Ya Allah. Protect our families, Ya Allah. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون فاذكرون يذكركم واشكرون ولا تكفرون والله يعلم ما تصنعون. أقم الصلاة.